is a show that focuses on the person behind the brony. I'm your host, Osaka Jack. Please sit back and relax as we talk to this week's guest brony. Hello, everyone. This is Osaka Jack, and welcome to Into the Spotlight. Today I'm speaking with someone whose work honestly stares back at me through my computer screen quite often. The Paper Pony. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Wonderful. How about yourself?
A little tired. It's been a long day, but that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine's just getting started.
I can tell you the weather's going to be okay, but around 3 o'clock it's going to take a sharp turn colder. So watch out.
Yeah, we woke up this morning and it was about 65 degrees, which meant I had to grab my jacket, my socks, another pair of socks, long pants, and a blanket.
Wow.
Because, us Floridians are not used to this.
Yeah. It is all relative, and, it would be easy for me to laugh at somebody being cold at that temperature. But at the same time, if I have to wear a jacket outside, I'm sure there are lots of Canadians who would laugh at me. Yeah, okay, all right. Giggle all you'd like.
It's funny, too, because we actually have a lot of snowbirds, like Canadian visitors.
Oh, yes. Right.
All the snowbirds coming down from up north for the winter, and... Oh man, it's hilarious because like you can tell who they are because they're the ones walking around in like shorts and t-shirts and
right.
The rest of us the locals are all bundled up and like huddling for warmth, standing around a fire in a barrel, that kind of thing.
Right, yeah. No, I have some family in Arizona, so I understand the concept of snowbirds very well.
Oh yes.
And I'm not sure your area, but I know that traffic is like night and day.
Oh, it is here too.
So, okay, I'm sorry. For anyone who doesn't understand the concept of snowbirds, perhaps we should explain what that is in more detail. What is a snowbird?
It's just okay. People who live up north, a lot of older folks will come south to Florida. Either they have like a vacation home here, or they have another apartment that they just rent out for 6 months out of the year, and they live in Florida or anywhere south.
Yeah.
To avoid
Arizona
the
as well.
Extreme colds.
And then come summer and the warmer climates, they head right back up north.
Right back up.
Yep.
Where everything is awesome up north because then it's like 75 and breezy.
Exactly.
So we hear.
So yes, in southern states I mentioned the choice southern states during the winter, it will be very busy.
Yeah.
Traffic is insane. Lots of people buying stuff, and driving is just horrendous. And then in the summer, it's very easy to drive, even though it's really, really, really hot and not very pleasant to get around.
Very hot.
Yeah. Well, if anyone is not familiar with your work, what are some examples of things that you do in the Brony community?
Okay. Well, back in November, we actually Okay, well, to summarize now, I do shadow boxes.
Shadow boxes.
They're all cut out of paper.
Now, real quick, this is not shadow boxing, which you may do as well. I don't know, but no.
Yeah, not to be confused. There's nothing athletic about these. These are very
paper
much.
Can stick. It's hard to cut. Ooh.
It's extreme.
I'm sorry. Go.
So, no, it's funny because it actually started as a Christmas gift idea back in November. We were trying to come up with some ideas and. Like I had just gotten into the pony fandom like probably about 3 or 4 months before this.
Okay.
And my brother's girlfriend actually loves Fluttershy.
Oh.
And so we were thinking of like coming up with some ideas. And my wife comes to me and she's like, "Hey, why don't you make her a shadow box?" And I'm like, "What's that?" So she showed me a couple things on Etsy. Some people had made MLP shadow boxes, and there was this other Etsy user, I think his name was Hatpire,
okay.
who did a couple of. He did one of he or she, sorry, did one of Big Macintosh,
right?
And there was another one of Fluttershy that I saw, and I was like, "Wow, that's really cool!" Because like what they did is they just took paper and cut it. And then they layered it into a frame, and let the layering create drop shadows, and it kind of made an image, and like that's really cool. So I go out to Michael's, and
for those who do not know, Michael's is
Michael's.
A general craft and art supply store. Okay,
for all your arts and crafts needs. So I went out to my local craft shop, Michael's, and just started wandering, just trying to figure out like, okay, well, how can I make this? So I found some I originally thought it was made from construction paper,
Hmm.
but then I went to the construction paper and realized that all of it was just completely like obnoxious colors. These are like schoolyard Crayola colors, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
And it's just like, oh, this is not going to work. So then I found cardstock and I was like, all right, this is what I was looking for, because they had an entire wall and it was amazing because it's like, you know, when you open up Photoshop and you see like all your color swatches
Right.
and you have like this entire wall of color to choose from, and it's like, that's exactly what this looks like, but it was all in paper. And it was amazing. So it's like I spent some time there,
Hmm.
and then, you know, I had to buy my materials and bought a knife, bought some glue
Nice.
and these little adhesive tabs and
Hmm.
rubber cement, and pretty much just sent on my way. Um, Long story short, that, you know, the first box I built was the Sleepy Fluttershy, um, and that was given to her as a Christmas gift. And I uploaded that to DeviantArt, and I've been on DeviantArt for like I think it's 6 years now.
Hmm.
And most of the stuff that I've uploaded, like I'd be lucky to get one or two comments on it, maybe, you know, more than 10 favorites
Right,
on
right.
something. I uploaded the photo that I took of Sleepy Fluttershy
Hmm.
and woke up to like almost 200 favorites and like 30 comments. It was insane. Like there was an immediate response to it, and it was just like I wasn't used to that at all. So like
Right.
that kind of gave me the idea, like, hey, people kind of like these things. So
Yes, yes, it does seem so. Yep, yep.
and so we just decided to continue on, and I made Sleepy Pinkie Pie and then Rarity, and of course, you know, finished out the main six, and that was a lot of work because that was all being cut by hand at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, using an X-Acto knife and pencils, basically.
Hmm.
And it was such a ghetto method because what I would do is actually make up, like, do my drawing and everything on the computer.
Okay,
I would size it so that the output on the monitor was actual size,
okay.
and then I would trace the shapes onto the
Oh,
cardstock
okay,
paper,
okay. Right, right.
like using my monitor as kind of a light board.
Okay, right.
Now, anybody listening, I don't recommend you stick a, you know, piece of paper up to your monitor and put a pencil to it because it's LCD.
Yeah, yeah, I would
Be-
think, especially if you have a sharp pencil, that might not be very
Yeah,
good.
use a dull pencil and brush lightly if you're going to.
Yes.
I don't want any reports of like I poked a hole in my LCD. No, don't do this. There are much better ways. You could probably use a printer. I just did
Mhm.
that because that's what worked.
It's the
Yeah,
general thing. If something looks silly but it works, then it's not silly.
exactly. Yeah. So that was basically what I did, and
Hmm.
you know, it kind of it honestly didn't get very popular for a while.
Hmm.
I made the Sleepy Main Six, and I kind of stopped at that because at that point, you know, we were kind of invested. We bought all the frames and bought all the cardstock and materials and everything for it, and
Right.
you know, we were hoping to sell at least one or two of them.
Hmm.
And of course, you know, the first one that we managed to sell was Rainbow Dash
Okay.
because I think hers is probably the most attractive, and of course, it's Rainbow Dash. So
I also would imagine takes the most effort because the many different colors, but
yeah, you know, it's surprising, but like, yeah, it takes a lot of colors, but that makes it easy because each
oh,
color
okay.
doesn't use up a lot of paper.
Oh, I see, I see. Okay, all right.
And but what was actually whose hair was most difficult was actually Rarity because she has all these
Sure.
curls and bounces in it, and it's like if you don't get it to look right, it won't look like Rarity. You know what I mean?
I've heard other people that either do plushies or models will say that yeah, Rarity is really difficult because her hair doesn't work in the real 3D world.
No, no, it doesn't exist in a 3D space. It's like one of those impossible, like,
Mobius strip type things.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
Okay,
or like
okay.
impossible stairs. You know,
Gotcha,
one
gotcha.
of those things. But I mean, at least in my sense, it's kind of a faux 3D, so it's not like a real 3D space,
Right.
which is nice because I don't have to worry about like making the backside look right.
Gotcha, gotcha.
I feel for you, you know, custom makers, please, you know,
If you
you
would
do
like to
amazing.
commission him to make the backside of
Yeah,
a
he's
certain, he could do it, but come on now, that's just being mean.
yeah, really. Like, how's this gonna work? And
You
it's
know
like,
what?
you know,
Okay, so if somebody commissioned it, would you
mm,
make one that on one side was one angle and you flip it over and it's the reverse angle of the same scene?
yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, if we could get, I'm sure there are frames that can do that sort of thing.
Okay.
Um,
I was just
yeah,
thinking two frames and glue them together, but yeah, yeah.
okay, yeah, well, that would too. You'd probably have to put it up on a desk or like, or even just hang it from your ceiling. I guess that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that would work. there's an idea. See, we're cooking ideas now.
Yay! I can do ideas. My cutie mark still fits. Yay! Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be rather interesting actually, because then you could do like the reverse side and do like a backside of a character.
Yeah.
I thought about that too because we had I did this one shadow box somebody commissioned online. It was of Derpy like crashing through the frame, like just completely smashes through the back of the frame, and like how
Okay.
fun would it be to have like her backside and her feet kind of kicking on the other side of it, It would be
That would
awesome.
be awesome.
So yeah, more ideas, great. I have like I'm cooking like 40 different designs right now for BronyCon. Let me just add that to it.
Nice.
But yeah, so yeah, that's how it kind of started. It started as like a Christmas gift, and she absolutely loved it, which is really cool. And
Yeah.
it kind of became the theme of the year. So then I ended up making shadow boxes for everyone for Christmas. Like I made a Harry Potter one for a friend of mine.
Oh, the
I don't have
Whomping
a
Willow
picture of
one,
that one
right?
online. I didn't get a very good picture of it, so
The
I have
Whomping
to.
Willow?
Yes. Oh, you saw
Okay.
that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I removed it because my wife pointed out to me that the friend whom it was intended for does visit my DeviantArt page occasionally
Okay.
and didn't show it on there. Like she thinks about these things. I don't. I'm just
Right,
like, hey, I'm
right.
gonna upload now. So like nobody watches this anyway. So yeah, and that's kind of how that happened. So
Well, you
um,
mentioned that with the earlier ones you were working with an X-Acto knife and things, but you kind of implied that you've I don't want to say evolved, but you use a different method now, or
yes. See, again, my wife is awesome.
okay.
By the She, for my birthday, went in with her family and purchased a Silhouette Cameo, which is, if you're not familiar, it's a device
Uh-huh.
that is like a printer, except it's fitted with a blade.
Oh.
So I can actually load in like vector information. Now I can take Illustrator,
Hmm.
take the vectors from it, load it into the software, and lay it out on a page and have the machine actually cut it.
Ooh.
Yeah, like I didn't even know this thing existed. Like,
That's
and
so cool.
amazing. I know. Like, so what you do is you lay it on a sticky sheet, and
Uh-huh.
the paper will stick to the sheet. You load it into the machine cuts it, and then when it spits it back out, you just peel it off the sheet. And I did like, and again, before then, I didn't even know this sort of thing existed.
Right, right.
Like when I opened that up, I looked at it for a second,
Uh-huh.
and well, what is it? And she's like, well, it's this cutting thing. I was like, oh my god. So then like I nearly like flipped out. So I just like opened it
Yeah.
up, hooked it up, got to know the software and everything, and oh my gosh, it's been amazing since. Like,
I'm going to add that to my list of appliances that I would someday like to get just because they're so awesome.
yeah, like apparently there's a market for this sort of thing because I guess scrapbooking is kind of popular,
Okay, makes sense, makes sense, sure.
and so like I guess that's kind of what it's intended for. Like I don't think this is its entirely intended use, but
Right.
it's
It's close enough.
for it.
Yeah.
So yes. Yeah, sorry to shatter the illusions, but all of my recent shadow boxes are no longer cut by hand. They are assembled by hand, which still takes a long time.
Well, and you're the one who tells the machine what to cut, so.
Yeah, exactly. You have to draw it. You have to shape it properly.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Are you
that still
still
takes.
tracing on the screen or no?
Oh no! My monitor's safe now.
Oh, good.
It's no longer sweating bullets anymore. Every time I put a piece of paper up to it, it's like, oh no, not again. Yeah, but
Well,
that's
go ahead.
been a major boost in our productivity. That's the only reason
Sure.
we've actually decided to go to BronyCon now is because now we have the ability to, you know, to get so many of these things made to where
Right,
we can
right.
inventory to bring.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Oh, that's nice. So, in the shadow boxes that you have made, is there any one that sticks out as just being the most difficult thing you've ever done?
Oh, okay.
I'm sure that
Let's
there's
see.
some of them are just like, oh, it takes so much, and others more simply, but like one that just would not work.
Every time I face palm, every time I need to build one, yeah. Okay, I'm actually going to say Princess Celestia,
Ooh, okay, all right,
which is surprising because there are other boxes that have a lot more pieces, a lot
right,
more details. Like I was originally going to say Bumblebee.
okay, okay.
I
The
made one of
Transformer, not a background OC pony that nobody knows about.
exactly. Now, see, the thing with Bumblebee, he was actually hand cut too. Like he was made before I got this machine,
Okay, okay.
and I think what actually made Bumblebee worse to build is the fact that I actually had a flu when I was constructing.
Uh, I would
And
imagine cutting paper is difficult if you're sneezing a lot.
yeah, yeah, I had to wash my hands quite often just to keep everything clean because it was not fun. Sore
Right.
throat, fever, the whole bit. It's just it was terrible. That was right around Valentine's too.
Oh, wow.
That's what it was intended for as a Valentine's gift. So I had deadlines looming too. So
Right, right.
that wasn't fun. But honestly, as far as like I've had to build about 5 or 6 Celestias by now,
Okay.
and um, she is difficult because putting her in a square frame, it's all the mane and tail. Like there's just so much mane and tail, and her
Right.
wing is up. Her wing pretty much takes up the entire top right corner. Her mane has to be angled just so that it covers the right part of her face, and it
Hmm.
touches the edge of the frame. Her tail has to fit in the edge of the frame without bending too much.
Right,
And
right.
there's just so many things that have to be just so to
Right,
get her to
right.
fit properly, and it's just it's such a pain to do.
Okay, okay.
Plus, that glittery cardstock is really thick. It's heavy. It's cumbersome, and the fact
Oh,
that it's
sure.
glittery doesn't take glue very well.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that makes sense, I suppose. Didn't think
Yeah,
about it, but yeah.
but she looks so pretty when it's done too. So
Yes, very true. Very true. It's a very nice one. I was sure you were going to say the Blight one.
yeah, I was thinking that one too. But honestly, Blight was not very difficult.
Huh.
He had a lot of pieces,
Okay.
and what I had to do differently with Blight
Mm,
that I did from everyone else is a lot of the other ones I can actually get away with printing out all or cutting out all the pieces at the same time
right.
and just kind of laying them out on a plate and just assembling it as I go.
Uh-huh.
Blight, I had to pretty much pick apart. Like I wanted to construct his arm. Okay, well, there's so many ambiguous shapes on him because he has lots of squares, lots of dots,
Yeah.
and especially like with the swords, all the hilts.
Right.
They're basically cylindrical. They have a little oval on top and then 3 diamonds on them.
Right, right.
Well, I had to assemble all those individually and cut them individually so I didn't get the pieces mixed up.
Oh, okay, okay.
After that, though, it was just a matter of like putting it all together. Kind of
Hmm.
used the brown piece in the middle as a anchor point and started anchoring everything else to it.
Okay,
And
okay.
it came together. It took an afternoon. It took a
Well, sure.
lot longer to build most, but it wasn't particularly difficult. It was just time consuming.
Right. Okay, okay. I can see that. Oh. Well, let's do flip side then. Which one has been the simplest, whether you
Yeah.
planned it to be or not?
Okay. The commission Starfriend and Lady. This one was built in
Oh, right,
about
right, right. Okay. Yeah.
35 minutes. I
Really?
went,
Wow.
yeah, I went for time on this one. Like this is one of those things I actually like hit the stopwatch
Uh-huh.
and just see how fast can I get this built. And it clocked in about 35 minutes, completely finished.
Wow. I mean, it
So
does look like it's, for the most part, monochromatic. You've got white and blues.
yeah, it has, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six colors, I think.
Okay.
I guess if you count the black.
Right.
Um, but yeah, other than that, the layering was easy. The shapes were easy to identify,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, super super easy. But
Nice.
simplicity is attractive in its own way too.
Oh,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
attractive
Absolutely.
by made because I mean the characters are really nice too, and kudos to
Sure.
the designer, the person who commissioned it.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, very sometimes the simpler patterns are the ones that end up looking the best.
Sure, sure. Huh. All right. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I have to admit, while I do love the shadow boxes, I think they're really pretty. That's not how I first came about you,
Hmm.
about your work. I came about your work because of the uh, uh, screensavers.
Yes. So let me tell you a story about that.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay.
okay, so we took a trip to South Carolina. This is last year. We went
Uh-huh.
up to Charleston,
Right.
and while we were there, we went up there for like a little book convention kind of
Mhm.
thing. Because my wife is also an aspiring author.
Okay, okay.
She's an aspiring young adult author. So of course, we try to involve ourselves in the young adult community as much as we can, and that involves going to book signings and conventions, and
Sure.
pretty much the same things that bronies would do
Right,
for brony stuff.
right.
Um, so we were up there, and of course, this is around the time that season 3 for ponies was about to start. In fact, the day of the convention was the same day that season 3 was premiering,
Oh, okay.
and it was around this time. It's like, yeah, I really, I had just built my first set of shadow boxes. They kind of, trailed off as far as the any like responses went. So I kind of just let it sit for a while and decided to take up Flash.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it actually opened Flash for the first time like the day before we left for the convention.
Okay.
So I realized that when I was in Flash, I don't know how to draw ponies at all to animate these things. So like I buy a sketchbook when I'm there, and you know, like I'm watching like we're in the hotel room and I'm watching the season 3 premiere on my iPhone, and you know, my wife is looking at me kind of funny. It's like, what are you watching over there? Like, I'm watching ponies. Leave me alone. So then I, you know, kind of used my phone as a tool to find, you know, reference pictures and all that, and just grabbed a sketchbook and just started sketching Twilight Sparkle and trying to figure out like how are these ponies drawn? You know, like it's crazy. It's like deceptively simple. It looks so easy, but it's not.
Right. Right.
Not at all. So, um, yeah, that's kind of where that started.
Okay.
And decided to put together a walk cycle. And I don't know, did you see the first walk cycle I put together and how horrendous it looks?
The walk cycle or the trot?
It's it's a little thing of Pinkie Pie. It's supposed to be Pinkie Pie. It's not Pinkie actually walks. That was like this a second take on it. My first foray into Flash. This was my first foray into Flash, and
It's not terrible. If for a first try, this is very good.
it kind of falls into the uncanny valley for me. It's like, oh no, oh Pinkie.
Yeah, if this is where you had stopped, I'm not sure we would be having much of a conversation right now. It's not bad, but yeah. Everyone has to start somewhere. We'll say that.
I like that little shadow face meme because like I've seen that everywhere, and it's like it just seemed appropriate, so I just put that on the comments. Because like at first when I uploaded this, like you know, like oh like hey this is amazing, this is my first walk cycle, it looks great, and then I come back like a month later and it's just like oh gosh.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's good. I mean, you know, if you keep working at something for a few months and come back and say, "Yep, that was the best I could have done," then there might be a problem.
So yeah, the Pinkie screensaver that was something that oh gosh I don't want to say how long that took me to do.
Really? Okay.
In terms of hours, I mean honestly I got it done in about a week, but like, during that week I pretty much didn't do anything else. Like I was at work, like I'm driving around and I'm thinking about keyframes and thinking about like tweens and all that. Like how do I get this to work? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, if anybody wants to learn Flash, I highly recommend the. There's a series of videos that I watched on YouTube. There were two of them. The first one was by Grant Baudet. I'm not sure if you know people listening might be familiar, but you know Grant's all over the MLP subreddit, but he's got an entire YouTube channel devoted to My Little Pony animation analysis.
Okay, okay.
And he analyzes, you know, walk cycles, run cycles, trot cycles, flight cycles, different things, and gives you a lot to think about. It's really awesome. Like he has some really good information. The videos are really well constructed.
Sure.
And if you have about an hour's worth of time, definitely watch it if you're interested. And the other thing was Flamingo Rich, Flamingo Rich, who is the head of the Double Rainbow project.
Okay, gotcha.
He put together an entire series of puppet animation.
Oh, okay, all right.
Using the puppets from Double Rainbow, which
okay.
You know, these videos are about an hour long, but I tell you what, just watch them because they're incredible.
Okay, yeah.
Like he teaches you some really nice, you know, methods, tactics, and just you know ways of thinking about like how to animate these characters and My Little Pony characters specifically.
Right, right.
So there's a nice focus on that, so you don't have to worry about drawing parallels between other material.
Right, right. Okay. Huh.
So useful if anybody out there wants to do animation.
Sure.
Watch those first because they will help tremendously.
Well, I know Pinkie screensaver was just cute as heck. No, seriously, it is. I'll tell you. I mean, people who've listened to my show know this, but I can use My Little Pony when I'm teaching English, and my Friday students love this one.
Oh, they saw it, huh? Oh, you showed class?
Oh yeah. I said, hey, look at this. I actually timed it so that in the very beginning, Pinkie's just walking across the screen, and then halfway she stops and looks towards you. I didn't tell them that it was a screensaver, so I just said, look at this, and they're like, oh, it's Pinkie. When she got close to halfway, I said, hey, say hello, Pinkie, and she went, hello, Pinkie, and like Pinkie turned her head at that exact moment, and she went, ah!
That's awesome. Oh man, it was great too because like I woke up the next morning and goodness, like there were just like several hundred favorites and like about 50 different comments and everything. But what I love reading the most were like these little stories about like, how people like, their kid walked in and they saw it and they started waving. Then Pinky waved back and they just like flipped out and it's like,
Yeah.
that interaction actually happened. That was completely unintended, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Like I didn't give any thought to like, that people would do that. It
Yeah,
was
no,
just
I kept
so
it going. I'm like, oh, well, say hi. Wave to Pinky. Like, waved and Pinky waved back.
yeah, and like I heard a lot of stories like that, and it was just like, oh, it just warms my heart. It's
Oh,
great.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love it.
And the fact that these are high school girls making these sounds doesn't mean any less because this is Japan.
Because that's what we expect.
Exactly, yes. Yes. And, okay, so you said that you worked for a long time on that for like a week or so,
Yeah,
but it
like
wasn't
tireless.
that much it wasn't that much longer before the next one came out.
No, see, Derpy came
Derpy.
together quickly. I was honestly surprised because I thought like that whole little bit in the beginning where she's juggling the muffin around, I thought that would be a lot harder to do.
Right, right.
Yes, like when things are moving quickly, you can kind of shortcut a lot more, and people aren't really going to see the flaws unless you're going frame by frame.
Okay, gotcha, gotcha. Okay.
Because like I realized like watching it at speed, it didn't really like I could fuss over the details, but it really wouldn't add anything to it because you're not going to see them anyway because she's zipping around so fast.
Right, right.
So that kind of worked out. I like Derpy. I thought she was cute
Oh
because
yeah. I think honestly, I think you did a wonderful job using her wings to show emotion.
yeah,
That,
I
that was
I
really,
have to
really
say
good job on that.
I completely borrowed that though. That wasn't completely my doing. I watched.
Right.
Did you ever see the Derpy loves her lava lamp animation?
Yes, yes, it did.
She does the same sort of thing, like when the
Hmm.
lava like gloops together and she's kind of stunned. She's like, oh, she puts her wings up and then she just starts flapping, giggling. Like it was the cutest thing I've ever
Oh
seen.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
Like, okay, I'm
well,
gonna
hey,
borrow.
heck, let's face it. I mean, the ponies you used weren't original, but that doesn't mean you didn't do a great job with them. But no, I think
It's funny too because like the puppets for these, and I guess I didn't realize I was using puppets
mhm.
because I guess that's what they're called is when you create a set of shapes that you animate. It's called a puppet.
Okay.
Because like I drew these completely from scratch. Like
Oh,
Pinky was completely drawn, by me first frame, and everything was animated. All the different um, cells and everything. Every frame was animated,
hmm.
not using an existing rig.
Okay. Okay.
Derpy, I actually stole the wings from the double rainbow one
Ah,
because they
okay.
had all the cycles and everything already done. I was like, hey, that saves me a ton of work.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
I just used the wings and created her hair and body and everything, and just used like bits and pieces from the Pinky rig
Right. Right. Okay.
that I used before. I just kind of recolored it.
Mm-hmm.
And, that worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Like I had fun doing expressions, like facial expressions. I enjoyed doing the most. Like that was where all of my fun was had with Derpy and Pinky.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And not soon after, or not very soon after, came the third one of Fluttershy. Dan-
Yes.
dancing to one of the catchiest tunes with the most difficult name to say to kids.
Yeah. Cause like, hey, what's that song called? It's called Avast.
It's a vast Fluttershy something of him doing.
And it's like, it's always so weird. Like I get a weird look whenever somebody asks me for that title, and it's like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, that's what it's called. Okay. But yeah, okay. So the funny story to this one, I was actually driving, delivering pizza, listening to music,
Uh-huh.
and this song came on,
Okay.
and like immediately, like I was sitting at a light, and then all of a sudden, I just saw Fluttershy dancing in my head, and like, oh man, this has to happen now,
Mm-mm.
because like I was originally going to the next animation that was going to come after Derpy was actually going to be Twilight,
Okay.
and it was going to come in and use her magic and all that to fix up the screen that Derpy cracked with the muffin, and
Ah,
so
good idea. Good
there's
idea.
some continuity there. And that's still going to happen. It's just I've been so
Is it?
busy with these
Okay.
shadow boxes. But that's
I,
still
I,
going.
I mean, I love the shadow boxes are really nice, but yeah, I kind of was like, are there going to be any more? But I know how things get. You get busy with something, and other projects that don't make money have to be put to the side.
And
But
the funny thing is too, like I love doing these animations. Like animating takes a lot of work.
oh yeah,
It's not something that you're not going to sit down for a couple hours and crank out an animation. It's just not
no,
how it works. Any animator will tell you that like it's very long, very tedious, very I mean, I wouldn't even say repetitive. It's not exactly repetitive either. It's just very it's like the ultimate in critical thinking.
sure.
because there's so much to think about. Everything moves. You got to figure out how it moves, what looks right, what doesn't look right. How are you going to change your shapes? How are you going to make it look natural, make it flow?
Well, I
Yeah.
think, I mean, if there are any, I really want to know about them because they're incredibly superhumans. But I don't know of any My Little Pony animators that have a second job. Somehow I imagine this would be yeah, I don't imagine that you'd get done with this and say, all right, well, let's go work 4 hours at the convenience store. I don't think you'd have the energy. I really don't.
Well, like, and it's funny too, because somebody tried to like make the argument with me that it would only take about 5 hours from scratch to make a minute long animation.
A cruddy one, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, I mean, if you want quality, then no.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I mean,
okay,
with
for
that logic, if you want to make one of those flip books like we did in elementary school, yeah, you
yeah,
might be able to do a minute's worth of a flip book in that time. Sure.
yeah, with stick figures and skateboards, whatever,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like no, this takes a while, and like that's another big thing too. Like if anybody's starting animating and they really feel like they've been putting all this effort in, they only have like 2 seconds to show for it. If you get like 3 or 4 seconds done in like an afternoon's worth of time, you're doing good.
Yep. Yep.
Because if you can get that much done, then you're doing great. Keep at it.
Absolutely.
But,
I'm not sure how much exposure this has gotten in other areas, but Creature Comforts by Artman Animations.
okay.
I guess nobody knows it, but it's claymation done by Nick Park, same person who does Wallace and Gromit.
Okay.
Okay, so the same company does Creature Comforts, where some people go out and interview people in the British countryside, and then they will animate them using the claymation to different animals, like zebras or bats upside down or something. And
Really.
oh, it's wonderful work. I highly recommend everybody to watch it because it's hilarious how they do it. They were interviewing two wrestlers as they were doing wrestling moves, and they decided to make that a cat holding a mouse by its tail and saying, well, this move, I have complete control of his body. Wham, wham, wham. And he's like slamming the mouse down. And it's
Oh, sounds
hilarious. And
awesome.
when they were doing interviews with the animators, they would say like, oh, yeah, if it's a really busy day, I might get 2 seconds done. And like, oh, God.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You ask anyone, claymation especially too.
Sure.
That's like the epitome of tedious work. I mean, not to mention too, you're working with a physical material there
Yep.
that has like atmospheric conditions to consider.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like I remember back in the day, my brother and I actually made some Lego animations using
Oh,
a
yeah.
tripod camcorder and a set of Legos.
Right. Right.
And of course, like we go up, we hit record, hit pause, and just like take like one frame at a time, or at least as shorter frames as we could, and try to make little like Star Wars battles and all that.
Right.
It
Right.
was just and it's funny as you watch the video because like we'll start around like 10 a.m. or so,
Mm.
and then like toward the end of the video you can tell that like the ambient lighting has changed because we're all incandescent now and it's dark out, and it's like wow, like we have about a minute and a half of footage that's gone by, and it's like it's already nighttime. It's like a time lapse.
I don't
It's
know if
great.
you're familiar with it, but actually, brick film has become pretty big recently. It's people animating Legos, and I know that I was just introduced to it this year. One of my friends does it, and he does a really good job. But they do have a 24-hour animation challenge
Hmm.
where they will say, okay, like they will release it. Okay, in 2 minutes we will release the animation theme, and they'll have certain conditions. Like in every shot, there has to be two white blocks put together, and there has to be an M, or so they can't cheat.
Yeah.
And they will literally have 24 hours to produce an animated thing, and some of them are a little, yeah, okay, that was done with fluorescent lighting, but others are just amazing in the work that they're able to do in just 24 hours. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And it's funny too, like what the mindset can be when you actually challenge yourself with a limited time,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
because it's easy to be lazy when it's like, okay, well, I can get this done when it gets done. You know what I mean? But if like
Sure.
that's why I love seeing the 30-minute challenges. I'm sure you see a lot of those go up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see them on EQD all the time. And
Right.
yeah, 30-minute challenge. Okay, give yourself 30 minutes. What can you do at that time?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like when you put yourself in that mindset, it's actually pretty amazing. Like what what you're actually capable of, and like how inefficient your time is used when you feel like you have all the time you ever need.
Right, right.
You know.
I don't know. It's not really a popular idiom because only I say it. But one of my favorite sayings is still water becomes stagnant.
Yeah.
You know,
And that makes sense, like it's like when you're pining for your days off and you're like, I have so much I need to do, and then you have a day off and you have all the time you need, and it's like you never go and get anything done.
exactly. Yeah. It's like, wait,
It's
it's
that kind of
Sunday
thing.
night, but what did I do? I think I woke up today. That was 8 hours ago. Oh my gosh, I need to get out of this chair.
It's like, oh, I need to get out of bed to do things. Nobody told me this.
Yeah, dang no.
But yeah. So yeah, these the animations they were received really well. Like
Yeah.
I had just discovered what Reddit was,
Okay.
like right after I released the Pinkie Pie animation,
Right.
and I was like, I that was actually the first link I ever posted on Reddit,
Mm-mm.
because I was like, all right, self plug, whatever, I'll just put this up. And I woke up the next morning and it was at the very top of the page and it had like 700 upvotes or 700 points or something. It was insane. It's like, oh my god! And I came
Wow.
back and there was just like a wall of comments. It's like I was trying to go back and just catch up with everyone. It's like, oh man, I can't keep up with this. And every time I'd refresh the page, there were like four more. I'm like, no. I mean,
I can
yes, I love
relate. I
this.
can relate. Occasionally, I will tweet something, and I don't think anything of it. I'm just thinking, like, yeah, this is a thought before I go to bed, and then all night I will hear my phone doodly doodly doodly. Oh God, it's 3 a.m. What do you want? Oh,
Like,
thank
what's
you for
happening?
favoriting it. Okay, but
Yeah, and you just get those little. I mean, even if you turn the phone off or like put the phone on silent, you're still hearing the buzzing and it still lights up.
well, and I can't put it on silent because that's my alarm clock. And
Oh, well, there you go.
but
We'll
even if
go
I
to the
just sleep
silent
through
alarm,
it,
right?
if I wake up and I go, okay, how many tweets have I missed? Oh God, what happened? Let's hope it's something good. Oh man.
Yeah, something is happening, and yeah, so that was fun. Like and again, like my favorite part of that was just hearing like little stories that people were telling, like, oh yeah, my daughter came in and watched this, and she was like, waving at the screen, and she was shouting Pinkie Pie, like, oh, I love it,
Personally,
and
I think it should be canon that Derpy can move that fast when there is a muffin involved. Just
yes.
create a blur across the screen.
It's like, come on, it's muffins. And I don't want to know what's in that muffin, what it was made of that made it capable of shattering a screen. But
My sister has made some that I could imagine. Yeah.
I mean, my theory is that Derpy is non-discriminate when it comes to muffins.
Sure.
Yeah, she doesn't care. It's a muffin. It
I
could be
don't know. I
cement.
might be controversial here. I would say Derpy enjoys cupcakes as well. I would, but
Uh-oh.
but not what she prefers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, cupcakes are around. There's no muffins. That's fine. They're
Yeah,
close. They're
not
muffin-ish.
okay. Yeah.
They're muffinoids. We're gonna coin that term right now. That's a thing now. So
Worst alien species ever in any movie. The
muffinoid.
muffinoids have landed.
Hey, that would be like the greatest action film of 2013. Derpy defeats the Muffinoids.
Oh my God, we need to claim this right now.
It could happen. It's good. It's gonna happen. Just give it time.
Derpy
Hollywood,
versus
get
the
on this.
muffinoids. Nice.
Next big thing.
I can imagine just a catchphrase, just like see half of her eye looking in a different direction. I just don't know what went wrong, but you're gonna find out.
Yeah, this emotive shot, and there's just like a wasteland in the background. Oh man.
Or even just like as they're landing, she's just like staring. I don't know what went wrong. I just don't know what went wrong, but you're about to find out.
Yeah, and we can integrate a crack on the screen and a band-aid.
Yes.
Yes. Perfect, because she's trying to fix it.
Yes. This is beautiful. We need to do this.
Yeah. This is creativity at its finest, by the way.
I really think that the productivity of Earth would probably shut down if everybody was ever forced to do the things that they said we need to do this.
Yeah, can you imagine? Oh man, I wonder how long that list is too. Like somebody needs to make that
We
just
need to do it. So
ultimate census.
there we go.
The list of things Earth needs to do.
We're in an infinite loop because we need to do the thing that makes us do the list that makes us see the thing. Okay.
Well, and I think Twilight Sparkle's already on that. She's got
Yes.
she's keeping the quills and sofas
Parchment.
guy
Yeah.
and keeping him in the black. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Very true. In the black ink. I got it.
The black. Oh, I get it.
It's a funny joke. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, Fluttershy was the last animation I had put up, and it's not because I don't want to do more. I really do. But Fluttershy went up around January,
yep.
and it was around this time when like people started contacting me because I guess the animations had driven enough traffic, and of those people that came in started looking at the shadow boxes, and that kind of piqued an interest.
Sure. Sure.
So there's one particular person, and I'll give him a shout out, Snack 314. You know who you are. He bought like the entire main six,
Wow.
Sleepy Pony. He bought the entire set.
Wow.
He commissioned the Princess Luna, so he got the original Luna.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then like I had built a Celestia shortly after that, and he bought that one too.
Wow.
So it's like then at this point my wall is completely empty. By the way, you're awesome. uh,
Nice.
yeah, so you know and then like what happened after that though is like I started getting notes from people,
Hmm.
and people were asking about the shadow boxes, and it's
Right.
like okay, well then that kind of shifted my focus a little,
Sure. Sure. I mean,
and
it'd be nice if we had enough money to just do the relaxing things that we want to all the time, but no, if we have a choice between what's really fun and what's fun as well and makes us money, we're
exactly.
going to have to do the one that makes us money. Sorry.
And yeah, and I don't want to make it sound like it's all work because I mean, yeah, it is a lot of work to build these, but it's a
Right.
lot of fun too. I
Oh, yeah.
mean, I identify it as therapeutic,
Hmm.
like putting these. It's kind of like, like if you ever built like models, like you buy the plastic models at the shop, and like
I
Koopa
never
Super.
got beyond the ones that you have to snap together because glue was never my friend. But
Gotcha.
I can understand how it is therapeutic for other people.
Absolutely, it's just having something to do with your hands. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah, yeah.
mean?
Sure, sure.
And like, there's nothing more fun than like seeing it actually come together because it looks like such a bejarbled mess when you start.
Right.
And then like when you start laying your first piece and you lay the second piece in,
Hmm.
and then like you start seeing the shape like come out of it, then it just looks like it just I don't know. It's a hard feeling to describe, but I mean I'm sure
So,
you know
so here's a
who.
question for just future ideas. If somebody, I don't know, but if somebody asked, would you send them a do-it-yourself pre-cut kit for a shadow box? Where
Yeah,
if they just said, I don't have the ability to cut these and I don't have the time to find the paper and stuff, but I really want them, and they would pay you money, would you send them just frame and all the pieces cut out, just not pieced together yet, as it were?
yeah, I've considered this as well
Oh,
because like one of the biggest things, especially for international customers, is
huh.
shipping is so expensive. I mean,
Yes,
even
I know.
the cheapest shipping we can get through the United States Postal Service, that's the cheapest I can offer.
Mm,
And that has extreme limitations,
yeah.
and it's very very price restrictive.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
I mean, I try to charge a fair price for the boxes, given the amount of time it takes to build them, the
Mhm.
cost of materials.
Right.
And I've considered like, well, it'd be a lot easier if I could pack up all these pieces in an envelope
Yep.
and mail it out. Like I could mail out like a half pack of adhesive tabs, maybe instruct you to get some rubber cements, and tell you what size frame to buy and all that, and
Yeah.
you could pretty much be good to go from there and save a lot on the shipping. And
Mhm.
I wouldn't have to charge you for the frame or anything either
Yeah.
because we wouldn't have to mail that out.
I mean,
So
again, I'm not sure I would have the artistic ability or spatial ability to do it, but I know a lot of people like making models, and this sounds like something they might enjoy.
yeah, and I've considered that too, and like yeah, that's perfectly doable because I have this nifty machine now. I can get all your pieces cut out, and they'll be exactly as they are in the vectors. So
Nice.
there won't be any. You won't have to improvise for any variation, which is nice.
There we go.
Um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if that's something you feel like you'd be comfortable doing,
Cool.
then yeah, I could totally do that.
And I
Um,
think you kind of mentioned it, but just because something says sold out does not mean it cannot be recommissioned. Because you do, I would assume that you save the patterns on.
oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
See, the original Sleepies, we didn't. I cut those by hand, so I didn't have the vectors and everything made for
Right.
them. I've
Right.
since retraced them,
Yeah.
and other shapes are saved digitally, so
Okay.
I can yes rebuild pretty much anything that's been made so far.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
That's in
So if
fact
I want to make a flip book of the derpy screensaver,
yeah.
oh
Exactly.
Lord, no.
Oh, sorry, that'll take a while.
Yep.
Maybe Fluttershy. See, Fluttershy was really crazy because like there was like rhythm to consider and
Hmm.
trying to sync it with music. Oh, that was a day in itself just figuring that out.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
But yeah, yeah. As far as doing remakes and all that, that's perfectly fine. In fact, most of what you see that's photographed right now isn't even in my house anymore.
Okay. All right.
because they've been shipped out. And like the Cadence and Shining Armor,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like that first photo, that one's already shipped out. There's a second one that we built that just left our house yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And yesterday being what, Monday? Yeah, today's Tuesday.
Yeah. Whatever. Spherical world. So I'm in a different day than you, but okay.
Yeah. Um. So yeah, it's yeah, we've been selling quite a few of them. Now, if
Nice.
if I do have an Etsy shop.
Okay. Yes, I can see the
I
Etsy
have
shop here.
everything. Now, my Shadowbox gallery on DeviantArt is a bit more extensive than what I have listed on Etsy because, a lot of commissions are of like original characters or very specific requests.
Okay.
Like we had one that was Fluttershy, but they wanted Fluttershy kind of like Victorian or steampunk.
Okay.
Um,
Right.
so that's something. It's kind of, I wouldn't say it's hard to resell, but it's just a matter of, it's a very specific request. So I don't
Yes.
really put that
Sure.
up on Etsy.
Right.
But if you go to my Etsy shop, it's Etsy, .com/ the paper pony place.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
Lots of
nice
alliteration.
alliteration.
Yeah. um, Everything is listed on there. Now there's
Okay.
I put the verbiage on all these listings. I pretty much everything that's imaged here
Mm-hmm.
has already been sold, and upon ordering, I'm going to build another one that'll be just like it.
Gotcha.
And that's I've proven that we can actually rebuild a lot of these with very little variation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have no worries about that.
Right.
Um, Actually, also want to offer a promo code too for
Oh,
anybody who's listening.
listen up,
Uh,
guys. You're getting something special here. Promo code.
just for our listeners, if you want to use the promo code Osaka Jack, no spaces,
No
Osaka Jack,
spaces. Okay. All caps or all lowercase or
all caps,
all caps. Oh, Saka Jack.
Osaka Jack, and you're going to be shouting it. It'll get $5 off your order.
Woo.
It helps eat into some of the shipping costs and all that, and that'll kind of make that easier. So if you've been kind of on the fence about whether you want to pick a shadow box up or not,
Do it now.
that'll
Yep.
might help.
Sure.
So definitely.
It's I okay, so let's see. What I guess this would make a good no. I'm trying to think of a holiday coming up this would make a good gift for, and I can't really right now. But a good July 4th present. No, that doesn't fall.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? We can do a festive one. Yeah, the most recent ones we started working on were the Phillies, little Philly
Oh,
ponies,
right.
and I don't have actual
Oh,
deviations.
there we go. There we go. Okay. In the Western world, most people don't know about it. May 5th is Cinco de Mayo. That's the only holiday they know. But in Japan, May 5th or May 3rd is actually Children's Day.
Okay.
So the Phillies, that's you could get a great Children's Day celebration.
Absolutely.
There we go. Okay.
Philly celebration.
Sorry.
That's all good. Yeah. We're 4 of 6 right now for those, and
Okay.
it's so funny with this show too because there are 6 main characters. Like any other show that you could do something like for a fandom, there's like maybe 1 or 2 like main characters,
Right.
but no, we have 6.
Yep.
So when you do one, you have to do the others too.
Absolutely. Yes. Very
And
much.
it's funny too because like we have a poll running on our page, and I keep saying "our" because like this was my account for years, but
Hmm.
my wife contributes just as much as I do now as far
Sure.
as building these, so it's really our profile now.
No problem. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, we did a poll, and
Sorry.
there's such a division between like there's no clear favorite. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Among the main 6, among background ponies, like
Hmm.
there's no clear like we need to bring the most of this character.
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of left us with like, okay, well, we need to bring a little bit of everything.
Yep, probably.
That's the
Well, I
boat
think
we're in.
another. Well, I mean, I think there's no clear favorite in general, but at the same time, um, that means that anything you make is going to be loved by somebody.
Exactly. So I mean, it's kind of I would say it's a double-edged sword, but it's kind of an insurance policy.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we like I was
It's
talking to my wife
unlikely you're going to say, "Well, we can't sell any of these rarity things. Nobody likes her." No,
yeah, really, jeez,
there are people who like rarity. I like rarity.
who's that white pony? Gosh. But it's funny because like I my wife didn't realize it
Mhm.
until recently, but she's a huge Big Macintosh fan.
Oh, Oh, nice.
Yeah, she absolutely loves Big Macintosh. So, like, what ended up happening was, she came up with the idea is like, hey, we need to make a sleepy version of Big Macintosh. And like, up until then, we'd only done one other like male character in the sleepy pose,
Okay.
and so we decided to do one of Big Mac. And as she was putting it together, like I was on my computer and I was working on another design,
Right.
and like she's on the end of the table, putting all the pieces together, and like every couple minutes I'd hear, "Aw." Like little squeaks and squeals coming from the end of the table. I'm like, "Are you okay over there?" It's like he's so cute. And it's like, yeah, it's true. And I gave her the idea of putting him next to Smarty Pants.
Of course.
Just completely just loved that idea.
Yes.
And of
Yep.
course, we posted it up on DeviantArt, and like a day later, I had somebody from up in Canada interested in it. So that was really cool.
Nice.
So we ended up building another one as well. So we still have a Big Mac on our wall, but at least he's going to be represented too, which is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's nice.
We have lots of other designs too. Like going down the list here, gosh, we have like 39 different designs right now listed.
And I would assume that, if somebody still has a different idea, you'd be up for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't counting like stuff that we've done for commissions in the
Right.
in the interim as well, because like commission work is great because people come up with some really neat ideas and some things that are really unique.
Mm-mm.
Like I wouldn't have thought of putting like Spa Rarity and Fluttershy together.
That's
And
a good one. Yeah, and that's really cute.
yeah, and it was taken straight out of a scene from the show. It just and it kind of worked.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. And it was really funny for that one too, because she opted for the 12 by 16,
Okay.
which most of the ones I make are 12 by 12.
Okay, right.
A 12 by 16, it's amazing how much more space another 4 inches gives you. Because
yes, yeah.
like I was looking at the stencils after cutting out the shapes for these things, and like Rarity's head took up like 3/4 of the page. Like it was insane. It's like, oh my god, she's got a big head.
Well,
So,
I think some people would argue that, yeah, but she keeps it in check for her friends. Sorry,
only what's important, right? Some other ones that we haven't shown yet. We have like a Derpy and Doctor Who's one. We're gonna make a disc.
Nice.
Lyra Bonbon, Vinyl Scratch Octavia, Nightmare Moon, and among others. So.
I'm getting the idea at this point. You're just going through, okay, season 1, episode 1, pause. Okay, we need to get this character. Play, pause. Okay, this character 2, play, pause. Okay.
This character showed up for 5 frames in this episode. We need to do that one.
I'm for that, yeah.
Like, because and that's what's awesome about this fandom is like, that out there somewhere is somebody who is identified with that character.
Oh yes, absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely. I mean, it's how Derpy came about.
Now here's a question. It just came out recently, but would you do a Snowdrop one?
Yes, actually, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody last night about a Snowdrop box.
Ooh!
Because
Snowdrop box.
Snowdrop, not to be confused with Dropbox in the winter, which is a very useful piece of software, by the way.
Yes, it is.
Okay. But yeah, okay, Snowdrop. Yes, I was cooking up an idea for that one last night.
Interesting.
And, oh my god, I watched that and like I cried manly tears.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
It was awesome. And it's funny too because it kind of came out of nowhere to me. Like I had no idea that it was even being made.
Okay, right.
Because everybody knows about the Double Rainbow project, and it's had a lot of fanfare, a lot of trailers and teasers, and
right.
We've known about it for a while. Snowdrops for me came completely out of left field.
Right. Yeah.
So I kept seeing it pop up all over Reddit. People were making cosplays, and there were lots of discussion. Like, what is this? So I watched it, and it was like 15 minutes long. I was like, all right, I can sit down and do this. I was eating dinner and watching Snowdrops, and
yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
was really
all the feels. Oh, wow. Oh, okay.
And but it was done in such like a subtle, like nice way. It was a nice tight little that was just, wrapped up. It wasn't overly done. It was just exactly what it needed to be to tell a story, which is amazing. I can commend them a lot for that. That was really, really moving work. So good job.
Absolutely. Well, one thing that I ask in each one of my interviews, and you're not escaping from the question either. In all of My Little Pony, what would you say is the one line or one scene that defines you as a brony?
Okay, see, I actually prepared for this question.
Woo, good for you.
I was listening to other episodes and was like, this is going to happen to me, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Absolutely. Yeah. Trademarked Osaka Jack question.
Exactly. So I do actually have an answer for you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's the bridge in Winter Wrap Up.
Okay.
Twilight is trotting. She has Spike on her back, and she's trotting up, and she's singing about, she knows what everyone has to do, and she has to find her place.
Right.
Well, that entire bridge kind of like I identify with that a lot.
Okay.
Because everybody wants to find their place. Everybody wants to know, like, what they want to be, what they want to do.
Right.
And the most important thing is that you just want to try your best and do your best.
Right. Right.
And that's just, I don't know. It's just that's a really good like mentality to base your life on.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
So I identify with that a lot. Actually, I always get a little choked up when I hear it because it helps too that the lady who sings it just sings it so beautifully.
Yes, she does. All
Very
props
expressive.
up to her.
She's amazing, and I feel like she doesn't get enough credit because like everybody talks about Tara, and of course Tara is Twilight, and well, yeah, but she's not Twilight's singing voice, and a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but yeah, that was just like beautifully done. That was pretty much that moment in the show when I realized like I love this show.
Nice.
Like I'm still new, and I was like, I still couldn't shake that like feeling of shame that was like coming with like I'm watching ponies.
Right. Right.
What am I doing? I'm on Netflix. I have a day off. Like, why am I watching this? Somebody told me.
And then we get to I have to find my place. You're like, yep, okay, I'm in. That's it.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, it's beautiful. It's so musical. Loved it. So yeah, that's kind of what hooked me in. That's also just something that I identify with because everybody's struggling to find, what they want to do in life, what their place is, what their purpose is,
Yep.
And
how do you do it without magic?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's what everybody is. Like, not all of us have magical horns. Jeez. maybe a few of us do, but I haven't found them yet.
If they do, they're hiding them very, very well. Yes.
Exactly.
Well, is there any other project that you'd like to plug while you're here?
Well,
something that we haven't spoken of yet. Anything?
No, not particularly, because I mean,
Okay.
we're being as transparent as we can about all of our intentions. We are going to BronyCon.
Okay.
And that was my wife's idea, by the way.
Good idea. Good idea. Yes.
We were coming back from Miami, and we were just talking about it, and it's like, well, I never really considered going to the conventions because, they're out of state. We live in Florida, and
Right.
there's not much here as far as that goes. We have a mini-con coming up in June.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to the scope of like Everfree Northwest or BronyCon.
Mm-hmm.
And
there was the Animate Miami a few months ago, but that was more general animation and not specific Pony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of sad I missed that too, though, because like I didn't really consider going to conventions until just a couple of months ago, and we decided to undertake this whole.
Well, honestly, I think if you had gone a few months ago, you would have only had the stuff you had been able to make by hand, and you might have, no offense to you, but you might have gotten overwhelmed with the amount of orders that you would have had to, you think, make by hand. And
yeah, oh man, and it's crazy too because like it used to take me several hours just to cut the pieces out.
Right.
And like I would actually cut them as I went, and it's amazing how much time this little cutting machine has saved.
Sure.
And, yeah, it's amazing. It's incredible. There's assembly, but I sometimes it feels like it takes forever, but then I look back and realize like how things used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just kind of makes you appreciate it more. Big project we're doing right now. We're just we're building boxes, building inventory for BronyCon.
Good idea.
But don't let that discourage you. If you see anything that goes up that you like, feel free to ask for it because everything you see is available.
Yep.
So
nice.
If there's anything that you see, if you don't see it, if you want it, just send me a note because that's kind of what I like to do.
Nice. Well, everybody, be sure to follow Paper Pony on DeviantArt and check out their Etsy shop and Twitter too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We opened a Twitter recently.
Okay. Yep. You will learn to love it because it will become part of you. Join the Twitter group. Join us. Okay, sorry. Well, thank you very much for coming by and speaking with us today.
Well, thanks for having me. It's been a blast.
Yeah. Everyone, this has been Into the Spotlight with Osaka Jack on Everfree Network. We will catch you next time.